Now we're going to go and create an object, and we're going to use those methods to convert the object into an array that we saw previously, those 3 different methods. And then we're going to loop through that array using the for-of loop. Let's see how it can be done. First step is let's create an object. And let's just say our object is a shopping list of fruit. So let's let our fruit be an object. And I'm just going to be using the object literal syntax for the sake of simplicity. Let's say we've got 12 bananas, 2 carrots, and 7 mangoes. If we console log our fruit out, there's our object with bananas, carrots, and mangoes. How would we start iterating and looping through this data? Well, the first way is by using object.keys. Method 1. Object.keys. Let's define our keys. Let fruit keys equal, and now we've got to access JavaScript's built-in object method. Object keys, and the parameter we pass into keys is our object, fruit. And if we console log this out, fruit keys, we have literally now got an array of our keys, banana, carrots, and mangoes. That was so easy to do, and it's awesome to work with. Let's now see the second method, and that is object.values. So method 2, object.value. Let fruit values be object. We got to access this JavaScript built-in object. And now we got values. And we pass in the fruit object once again. And if we console log this out, we get the values. Yo, this blows my mind how simple this actually is to extract data from objects. And here you can see we've created an array. In both instances, in object.keys and object.values, we've transformed our object fruits into arrays containing the data we're interested in. But now, say you wanted both the keys and the values. How would we do that? Well, that's where object.entries comes into the picture. Let's have a look. Method 3. Object entries. So now let's define fruit entries. We again have to access the JavaScript object. And here we've got entries. And we pass in the object fruit. And if we console this out, we get an array of arrays. Remember how I said that the dot entries is almost like an array of an arrays? And you can see why now, because your overall array consists of smaller arrays of key value pairs. Okay, cool, but now how do we iterate through this fruit entries and extract both values? Well, let's have a look. So if you use object.entries, you probably want to extract the key value pairs. And let's do a for-of loop, because for-of loops are awesome. And if we just did this, if we just did fruit of fruit entries, what do you think would happen if we consoled log fruit? Well, that's right. If you guessed it, it's just going to console log the array, because it's going to take the first element of that overall big array and console log that. But what about if we want to extract it? What about if we want a message saying you need to buy X bananas, you need to buy 2 carrots? How would we do that? Okay, well, what's really cool, this for-of loop, is this fruit you can split into an array of fruit name and fruit number. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. So here I've just got fruit. You know what? Let me actually make it more intuitive for you. Fruit key instead of name. Let's say that's fruit key, and that could be fruit value. So you know that the one's a key and the other one's a value. That's all that it is to it. It's cool. It's easy. And now we should be able to console log. And let's use template literals and say you need to buy fruit value, fruit key. How cool is this? And there it's console logged. You need to buy 12 bananas, you need to buy 2 carrots, you need to buy 7 mangoes. There you have it. So this was a really in-depth example of taking an object, destructuring it out by using object keys, object values, and we even use object entries to get both the keys and values out of that object. And then once you've got an array of values, it's so easy to loop through an array because the for of loop is just very intuitive and it works amazingly well with arrays. Let's continue.